In today's video, we're going to cover a huge Marvel leak that covers a lot of stuff that's up and coming. It's from a source that apparently has got a lot of stuff right in the past. This ain't your bagels or moon kind of source. This actually seems like it's a real source. So yo, what is freaking good YouTube? Warstu here, aka Marvel Always, because this is like the 5th Marvel video in a row. If you are new around here, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, DC, Kaiju, Monsterverse, pop culture based content that I try to do personally on a daily basis. Good to turn notifications on and let me know what the frickin' hell's going on with Marvel. Also, we will talk about the Daredevil stuff, which I think has been blown out of proportion, and there's a lot of misleading reports out there because they've only filmed 4 episodes. They're not scrapping every single piece of footage they filmed. They are only changing a few things up, and they didn't really fire anybody. They're just not returning. It's not the same. I hate people that mislead in the headline. Yeah, sure, they're getting new script writers, but they're still going to use parts of the old stuff. Also, if you could, check us out on Twitter, aka Xverse, aka x.com. Warstu on there, as someone stole my handle at Warstu. I'm still trying to get it back, but really hard. Also, if you can, check us out on Instagram at Warstu to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. Right, let's get into this video. So, this person actually got a lot of information right about Secret Invasion and was the first person to leak a huge spoiler for Daredevil before any of these fake scoopers on Twitter. So let's break it down. So it goes over a lot of projects. I'm just going to read it in order. I'm not going to read it in project to project, just going to read it in order. So the plan is for the 616 to be destroyed post Secret Wars New Earth and will be the main set base for the MCU. And for the rest of them, obviously not everyone's going to die. They'll find a way to get them to New Earth. So everyone's been saying this for the longest time ever, that they are going to set up a new Earth, if you like. And presumably not everybody's going to die, but I do expect most of the OG Avengers, like Chris Hemsworth, Thor, etc., to be gone after Secret Wars, which probably won't be coming out for another 5 years anyway. But this is why people are like, yo, this has got to be fake. No, skeleton information can get out. I don't like to say this, but it is true that Marvel, DC, etc., they do use the trades to put information out there, and they do put out information to wannabe scoopers to see what the general population says on the internet. That doesn't mean they do anything with it. They just put out there. So Tom Holland Spider-Man is the chosen one from the universe 616. Now this does kind of make sense because Doctor Strange has gone to what appeared to be the Dark Dimension with Clea. Captain Marvel, aka Brie Larson, she's going to be off planet. Spoilers for the Marvels. Monica Rambeau is going to get stuck somewhere else. So it does look like potentially Tom Holland is going to be the only one left to be the chosen one. Characters like Tobey and Andrew, they're not from the universe 616. So the fact that there is no longer a real Captain America and a lot of the OG Avengers are dead or not around, Tom Holland Spider-Man has to be pinnacle going forward. So, like I say, it's in a weird order. Okay, so now it flicks to Daredevil information. And before we get into that, let's just break down what actually happened. Not a lot happened. Usually this kind of information doesn't get out. So basically a bunch of Marvel execs watched it and Kevin Feige was like, yo, this is absolute. So they scrapped some of it, but there's a lot of misleading reports out there making out they scrapped everything. That's not the case. So careful with spoilers. So Foggy is going to die off screen and that will trigger a lot of the audience, but that's not really the reason why Kevin Feige decided to scrap everything, which I find fascinating. And apparently this will still happen. Apparently Karen was also going to be killed off screen, although she was never physically on screen. And then the actor, Vincent, who plays Kingpin, came out and said this, and he's an actor, so he actually knows what the hell he's on about. We're going to bring forward the best series we can. So this is in relation to the writers and directors potentially getting fired. Every cool project I've been involved with has evolved constantly during pre-production, production, and post. It's simply a bunch of creatives doing their best to get the right stuff out there. I wouldn't have it any other way, frankly. I'd be worried if we were settling for less. So he's basically saying it's not as big as what people are making out. And really, this stuff shouldn't have came out. And I don't think narratively what's got out is even true. So Foggy was going to die in episode 1 off screen. And then Matt Murdock wasn't going to suit up again till episode 4. And it just seemed like it was turning into more of a lawyer's show than what was set up in Netflix Marvel. Although Marvel produced it, it was still Netflix predominantly. I don't think what they're going to be able to do with Daredevil Born Again, I hate to say it, Actually, I don't hate to say it. You're not going to live up to Daredevil on Netflix. What they should have done is it should have just been a new season with everything that already happened. I mean, sure, it could be canon, but it's essentially a Daredevil reboot, which they're not going to be able to live up to what originally happened anyway. Then we had some fake-ass scoopers saying this. Even before Marvel decided to creatively reboot Daredevil Born Again, Karen Page was never considered to be part of the show. All right, bro. Well, really, you're a female pretending to be a guy on this account. Bagels. Why didn't any of these scoopers come out and say this stuff before it actually came out? Because they didn't know. So now everyone's throwing stuff out there. And the actual source for today's video with the leaks, they were the first person to say Foggy died. They put it out there. Her character wasn't even referenced or alluded to like Foggy Nelson was in episode 1. There's a reason why I never mentioned Karen Page. Yep, can we get some toast? It's because you didn't actually know anything. You knew absolutely nothing. So apparently, and they only shot 4 episodes out of an 18-episode season. People were making out they actually like finished the show. They were nowhere near it. Daredevil Born Again will show Matt Murdock stop being Daredevil for a year after he fails to save Foggy, Nelson, and Karen Page. Kingpin will be mayor, winning on the campaign, backing law enforcement, whilst discouraging street-level heroes like Punisher, Daredevil, and Spider-Man. Apparently, the police actually had the Punisher logo. So, yeah, that's kind of context. Now we'll go over the actual stuff it says from the Daredevil. Okay, this is referring to Karen Page. She's not in it. She's not even mentioned regarding Karen in Daredevil. So either this guy or Alex are wrong because she wasn't going to die in episode 1. Cool. Deadpool and Wolverine end up in a new universe at the end of Deadpool 3. So Jackman is definitely here to stay, at least until Secret Wars. Okay, that backs up yesterday's video. Now, this Fantastic Four information, it's interesting, but I don't think they should introduce Galactus in the first Fantastic Four movie. I think that'd be a big L. Fantastic Four, last draft, had them in the 60s. That's been consistent with everything we've reported here on the channel. In another universe, which is cool, because in another universe, so I hope the Fantastic Four movie doesn't even take place in the MCU, but at the end of it, they're brought to the MCU via the TVA. Where they are the only heroes and few stars, they have to save the world from Galactus and his heralds, but they lose. And the TVA sends them and takes them to the new universe. Interesting. We'll say it again, Foggy is dead in Daredevil Born Again. He dies in episode 1. Now, realistically, if Kevin Feige had any balls or had any cojones, he would bring back the original actors for Karen Page and for Foggy, because if they're not in the show, it just ain't going to be on the Daredevil Netflix level. And if it's not on that level, it ain't going to be that good. And I've seen Charlie Cox in real life, in a play in central London called Portrayal. He's a very good actor. I get it. He's got no creative input because Marvel doesn't allow their leads or allow, and in fact, Marvel doesn't even let their directors have any input unless they're writing it. Let's be honest, they've never done that either. It's not hard to do Daredevil. You just have to have the original cast being Foggy, being Karen, and at least Daredevil. Them 3 actors, and you can't go wrong. So, there are many Deadpool variants and many Wolverine variants. That's all I'm going to say for now. Maybe this is why some leakers say the MCU Wolverine will show up in Deadpool 3. Maybe one of the variants is the main character or something. I highly doubt the MCU Wolverine will be in Deadpool 3 just because it would completely detract from Hugh Jackman being there, and it would be very awkward. Yeah, obviously. The thing when most of this information comes out, it's just common knowledge. They're not going to bring Hugh Jackman back, right, and have the new Wolverine overshadowing him. Let's be honest, Hugh Jackman is Wolverine, and no one else is ever going to... It's like if someone else plays Iron Man, they won't be accepted. It's like the new Captain America has not been accepted. If you ask people who Captain America is, they will always say Chris Evans, the same with Iron Man, the same with Wolverine, the same with Warstu. These characters can be replaced, but they can't be replaced in that context. So, yeah, we know the new mutants and new X-Men aren't being introduced till after Secret Wars. So, it's kind of funny the way this is worded. What are you even talking about? I didn't say they're picking a chosen one that would stop them from collapsing. They're letting the universes die because there's nothing they can do about it, obviously. And they can't save everyone from every universe. So, their plan is to pick one from every universe and save them while the rest die. No idea what that means. So that's interesting. So in the leak we went over yesterday, Deadpool 3, apparently there's going to be 3 universes from the X-Men side that way, so potentially 3 characters from them universes respectively. It's interesting because for me, this could be real, it might not be real. It's just fascinating going over stuff. I kind of take leaks like it's just a fan theory, but there is some validity to the person behind this. It is very much a multiversal story. In fact, it's the most direct build-up to Kang's Dynasty and Secret Wars in regards to Deadpool 3. Even more of a build-up than Loki Season 2. I don't know if I believe that, but that could be interesting. I don't want to reveal too much, but the story is about the TVA picking a chosen one from each universe because they're all collapsing, and to put them into new universe. Elektra is the one chosen from the Daredevil universe regarding Deadpool 3. And this is also why I believe this. Somewhat believe it. It's because the context isn't really there, and they're not really going into great depth. Easy. Feige lied. Yeah, Kevin Feige lied, for sure. Just like when he called Multiverse of Madness a team-up movie between Doctor Strange and Wanda. Yelena is the leader of the Thunderbolts. Bucky and her Red Guardian are not part of the team. They only join them during the third act. Interesting. Vertigo is the leader of the Seven and can turn into a fox. Then it's got Agatha in abbreviation mark. So where does this put Val? Easy, it doesn't. She's not in the movie and is not involved with the serpents in any way, shape or form, Captain America 4. If you want to know what the Thunderbolts is actually about, the team is sent to what they discover to be a suicide mission. They were not supposed to come back alive. So it's basically Marvel's version of the Suicide Squad. The good one being David Ayer, Warner Bros. Studio cut. When they realize it, they team up to take down the person who sent them to die. Okay, this is all over the place. So, she's the strongest character in the MCU before Agatha, during Agatha, and will be after Agatha as well. Interesting. No Mephisto, no Fisk. Val bought the Avengers Tower to be revealed in the third act of Thunderbolts. Interesting because everyone thinks Mephisto bought the Avengers Tower because some wannabe scooper said it. So, this is all over the freaking place. You wouldn't expect anything different from a Warstu classic original video, would you? No! But we've gone over some Deadpool 3 stuff, some Fantastic Four stuff, some Daredevil stuff. Don't worry, that Daredevil is going to be delayed because the actors' strike's going to go on longer because the studio ain't going to give them 2% of the streaming profits. It ain't going to happen, so it's going to be delayed. Some Thunderbolts stuff and some Avengers, Kang's Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars stuff and post-Secret Wars. Essentially a new Earth where some of the old heroes could return potentially, but most of them will be killed off. Interesting. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at Warstu to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. Check us out on x.com, aka Twitter, and I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch ya later.